There you go. Hello, hello, hello. Allah, 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 Allah. There you go. There you go. Funny figure out how to fix my mic. There you go. Okay. Here we go. Let me put my mic away. Yo, I just testing out my new mic. Is this mic better, guys? Is it better? How to figure out how to turn it on. Okay. Okay. Finally, I figured out how to do it. My autistic self finally how to figure out how to my autistic. I'm so autistic for real. I said autistic. I am so dumb. I said autistic. I meant autistic. Same thing. Okay. So, want to be watching Godzilla guy's recent video. You know. Yeah. Let's see. Is he cooking or not? Because usually Godzilla guy doesn't always cook, but he cooks sometimes. So let's see.
Godzilla Earth, undoubtedly the most powerful version of Godzilla ever seen on screen. Even the following big five, those being Showa.
Nope. I definitely. What did bro say again?
Godzilla Earth, undoubtedly the most powerful version of Godzilla ever seen on screen. Even the following big five.
Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. He's not even close to powerful. Bernie, shut up. Nobody's talking to you, mate. This fraud. Who's the fraud, mate? Yeah, whatever. Ugh.
Those being Showa, Heisei, Monsterverse, Gemstone, and Final Wars Godzilla, don't stand a chance against the unstoppable power of Godzilla Earth. Many of you have asked for a video on this version of the G.
They do. They do. Okay. Except Final Wars, Gemstones, and Monsterverse. They ain't do shoot against Godzilla Earth. Heisei and Showa, yeah, they're really they just easily be able to take him down. Heisei scale is higher, so does Showa. Yeah, so isn't really a fair fight.
But due to his sheer power, I've never found a competitor that stands a chance. And there's no single era that stands a chance against this incarnation of Godzilla. But why not just do them all?
There is.
Rather than throwing him into a single era, we'll be taking kaiju from every era, putting them into teams, and seeing if Godzilla Earth has what it takes to truly solo every verse. Howdy everyone, it's your host Goji Guy, and welcome back to another 10 days of Christmas.
He cannot solo every single verse. Monsterverse? Most likely, maybe. I got a scale. I forgot where I scaled Earth Godzilla. I scaled him somewhere. Yeah, I have to rewatch the anime first, cause it's been a while since. Have I even made a video with using Godzilla Earth? I don't think I have. So, I have to watch the anime again, which the anime is trash, and the movie is it like two movies? Yeah, yeah. But overall, Godzilla Earth is not making past the Heisei or the Showa era. Millennium era. Ugh, maybe, but most likely yes, he will get past the Millennium era. Monsterverse, yes, most likely yes.
I know
What's
it's
up?
not 10, it's 12. I understand. All my friends are telling me that IRL 10 just sounds better, and I can't withstand doing another video that quickly. Yeah. Where I'm uploading every other day until Christmas. If you're new to the channel and you're into topics range from kaiju to dinosaurs, anime, sci-fi, and even analog horror, well, my friend, you've found the right channel. So consider subscribing to fill your inbox with content like this.
Oh, no,
weekly.
you haven't.
So let's start with his bracket. Godzilla Earth will be pinned against groups rather than single targets. As so that we can hopefully make this fair, we'll be pulling kaiju from the Showa and Heisei era, most of the Millennium films, the Monsterverse, the Gemstone universe, and the Singular Point anime. And with that in place, his bracket is
Hey, Cap,
GMK
yeah. Godzilla guy spits a lot of cap, we should say. A lot of glazing. Especially with Monsterverse. But at least he said that Monsterverse loses a Showa. I'm happy about that. That's the only thing. I'm happy about that. At least he got some brains for that. Okay, yeah. That's the only thing.
Ghidorah, Mothra, and Baragon. Jet Jaguar Beta.
Brody. Just say it. Just say it at this point. Just say it. Just say it, Burningzilla. Just say it. I don't care. When you call me a fraud, I didn't even do anything to you. You're the one who called me a ninja just cause you didn't agree with me. You said you can't power scale. Or you ninja, you can't power scale. I wasn't even being rude to you or anything. You just called me that out of nowhere. So of course you would, pussy. However, I don't really care. You can hate me all you want. I don't really care.
And Singular Point Manda. Final Wars Anguirus, King Caesar, and Rodan, Orga, and Megaguirus. The Muto Prime, along with the male and female Muto. Gemstone Megalon and Gigant Rex. Biolante and King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus, Kaiser Ghidorah and Monster X, Shimo and Ghidorah, and finally, Space Godzilla and Destroya.
Okay. Okay.
Pray for me.
Okay. I don't want to.
Alright, let's get into it. So let's start with Godzilla.
Wish that was me for real. Okay.
Earth's feats. Starting with strength. Now, Godzilla Earth only has a few feats, but lord are they intense. Starting with, nothing much. He just burst through a mountain, and this isn't a fictional mountain. This is Mount Tanzawa of all things.
Yeah?
I think I pronounced it right. Anyways, he reduced it to bits by just standing up. And since it's a real mountain, there are weight calculations. And at an absolute minimum, this mountain comes in at an eye-watering 23,148,537 tons. That's more than every kaiju on this list combined. But I think the billions of metric tons alone is enough. Now onto speed. And well, this is where Godzilla kind of lacks. Godzilla Earth is stated to move at 60 kilometers an hour. Now into Godzilla Earth's best category, his durability, which says a lot given his strength. Godzilla in Planet of Monsters, when in his younger form, tanked 150 nuclear warheads.
He said, hold up, let me go back, let me show you, hold up. Let me show you, Burningzilla.
But that's a low end. At a high end,
right here.
148,537 tons. And at an absolute minimum, this mountain comes in at an eye-watering 23,148,537 tons. That's more than every kaiju on this list combined. But that's a low end. At a high end, it just reaches the billions, about 141 billion metric tons. And, I mean, he slaps away Ghidorah and, snaps his jaw, but I think the billions of metric tons alone is enough. Now, onto speed. And, well, this is where Godzilla kind of lacks. Godzilla...
Still glazing, mate. You're still glazing. He does not beat Space Godzilla or Destroyer. If he says he does, I'm gonna crash out. Because I like Space Godzilla. And if he says he beats Showa Godzilla, I'm gonna freaking crash out. Yeah, he's just Rachel the Wake, yeah. You should know about Godzilla guy by this point. You know him by this point.
At 60 kilometers an hour. Now into Godzilla Earth's best category, his durability, which says a lot given his strength. Godzilla in Planet of Monsters, when in his younger form, tanked 150 nuclear warheads, enough to deface the US. In City of Edge of Battle, he eats the Vulture's weapons for breakfast, never showing any signs of damage. And in the Planet Eater, while in pain, he takes Ghidorah's bites. Okay. And yeah, I know. Goji guy, you said this was his best?
Okay.
And yes, I know it seems lackluster, but the main thing is his asymmetrical permeable shield. A practically impenetrable shield that fully encompasses his body. Literally the only thing that got through it was Ghidorah. And well, to those who don't know, his Ghidorah is on a...
Godzilla guy's the type of guy to say the crab thing from GXK Solos. He might. You know what? No, I don't see Godzilla guy saying that. But I can see him saying that Final Wars and Final Wars solos the whole Heisei era. I can see him saying that. I can see him saying it. Okay, Brody. Burning Zilla. There's a place for you, for your type of people. It sounds so racist. Oh, my bad, my bad. My bad, how to describe it? Fan base, yeah, that, what the frick you call it? Wait, the crafting soul is what? Gods of Earth? Yeah, I don't really
Higher
care.
plane
Gods
of
Earth is
dimensionality.
overrated.
So, yeah, to get through the shield, he needed a character that didn't obey our laws of physics. Now into his abilities. Godzilla has crazy regeneration, being able to regenerate his organs in seconds. He has metallic skin, which further buffs his durability. He has a super oscillating
cares?
wave. What is that, you may ask? Well, imagine the
Who
Muto
cares?
Prime Sonic Roar, but 1,000 times over. This roar destroys any and everything in its path, ground and military alike. It has a stated output of over
Who cares?
900 gigawatts of energy. 900 gigawatts of energy is enough to vaporize a city. He has his plasma cutter, or as I call it, the atomic
Yeah,
tail whip.
high
This
wink,
attack also
yeah.
destroys
Yeah, that's a
anything
very
in its
high
path,
wink.
cutting through mountains with ease and destroys the ground with no issue. He can increase his body temperature in seconds, turning it into Scarlet Godzilla, reaching temperatures over 1,000 degrees Celsius. He has his energy conversion, where if he's too powerful, for whatever reason, he can release a
Show guys a victim. Stream doesn't get past city level. What do you mean Scream? Yeah, Void Eater is like hype. Yeah, I can see Void Eater getting there. Stream doesn't get past city level. What do you mean? Okay, my brain hurts right now.
lot of his energy, heating up the surrounding area to an outrageous degree. And finally, his atomic breath, the strongest one of all time.
Oh,
It slices
Stream
through
Attack?
mountains with ease. It has an
I'm
energy
not
output
sure.
of
That
3
wasn't
terawatts,
anime, like I said.
and even when deflected and broken into smaller, less powerful pieces, it still eviscerated mountains and the surrounding landscape. When in his Scarlet form, it destroys Mechagodzilla City with ease. And he's able to open
Okay. Casey Godzilla could do the same. By accident. He's able to break mountains by accident. What's your point? So, yeah. What's your point? Hasty got to do the same. Without using his beam. Just by slamming a kaiju. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he slammed King Ghidorah and he broke a mountain, I think. So, yeah. That doesn't work. So, yeah. Burning Zilla, you're just trying to get my nerves at this point. You just want my attention.
power and force a black hole closed. People, we're talking about black holes.
Yeah.
The most powerful things in the universe. And he
Good
outdid
scaling.
them.
Multi
And what
solar
makes it
system
scarier
scaling.
is the fact that his beam is said to be able to reach all the way into Earth's orbit. So no kaiju is getting away from his breath. So with all that in place, for the kaiju, we'll be covering their best feats, as, well, they'll need it. So let's dive into the first group, the GMK Gang. Yeah. I'm not even gonna cover the feats. It's not close. With no concept of difficulty, Godzilla Earth moves on. Next up is Jet Jaguar and Manda from Godzilla's Singular Point. And of course, onto their high ends. As, well, they'll
Yeah,
need it.
that's
Jet
Earth.
Jaguar is able to kick Godzilla away with ease. Godzilla Ultima coming in at, well, we don't know. There aren't any given weights for really anyone in the show. But given his size, using other Godzillas as reference, he would most likely be around 70,000 metric tons. He has some pretty fast reaction time, being able to catch Yun Arikawa right as he fell out of a moving truck. For durability, he's able to take one heck of a hit from Anguirus.
Yeah,
He's able to
estimated
function
feed.
even when missing limbs.
Planetary feed,
and for a
not gonna lie,
brief
okay.
moment, he withstands Godzilla Ultima's beam. But really, only for a moment. Manda is able to draw blood from Godzilla with a single bite, and even when on land, he's a pretty swift kaiju, despite being aquatic in nature. And, that's it. He dies right after. And neither of them really have any crazy abilities, so really
Yeah.
all Godzilla Earth needs to do is a single one of any of his attacks,
Yeah.
and they would both go down. With no difficulty, Godzilla Earth moves on.
Reconvert.
Next up is the Final Wars trio, Anguirus, King Caesar, and
No
Rodan.
concept. Get
And,
right.
well, collectively, they weren't able to beat up Final Wars Godzilla,
No
and
concept.
as we
Get
said,
one
Godzilla
tap.
Earth
One
dogged
tail
Final Wars
split.
Godzilla.
They're dead.
So, again, there's just nothing to really even cover here. They have no way to damage him, and a single attack would put them all down. So, again, with no difficulty, Godzilla moves on. Now onto Orga and Megaguirus. Starting with Orga. Orga is shown for strength. He's pretty easily able to
Get one
manhandle
tap.
his Godzilla. Godzilla 2K weighing in at 25,000 tons. For speed, he's able to move around the city with ease. being able to leap like a frog, granting him great speed and agility on the battlefield. And for durability, he takes Godzilla's bites with little damage. Later, when taking severe damage to his shoulder, he quickly regenerates it. For his abilities, his beam is pretty powerful, but interestingly enough, the most useful thing here is the fact that he can quickly adapt. So given Godzilla Earth has pretty much infected the entire planet, if Orga could find some plant life, he may be able to increase his durability greatly. But given how long it would take, and that all it really do is make it more durable, it's not a massive upgrade. Onto Megaguirus. This giant bug is also able to push around his Godzilla with ease. GXM Godzilla also coming in at 25,000 tons.
The one problem is Gabara isn't real. He's part of a kid's dream. So technically, Gabara wouldn't even be able to fight TriStar Godzilla. But we mean like, yeah, if he was real, then yeah, maybe. I've never really thought of scaling Gabara. Never really scaled them before. When I watched the movie again.
Speeds of Mach 4, and for durability, she's able to be slammed through buildings and,
And sorry if I sound a little, weird, because my nose is, I'm sick right now, so my nose is stuffed right now.
That's about it. After just taking a few shots from Godzilla's Sonic Breath, she blows up. And her only useful ability is unusable in this situation, that being her Fireball, as she needs to hit her target directly to drain their energy to make said Fireball. And given Godzilla's shield, she can't do that. So Godzilla Earth would struggle with these two.
I'm talking about the Showa era Gabara, not the Monster Island. Oh, yeah, never mind. Oh, no, he is? Oh, say less now, Gabara solos. Yeah, never mind. If he's saying he is real, then yeah.
Their speed
I
advantage.
haven't found that guidebook yet. Usually it's easier to find. You never know. Well, whatever.
He can do anything to him. So while he would be annoyed, and it would take a while, really, again, any of his attacks would do the job. So with low difficulty, he makes it through. Now onto the Muto squad, that being the prime, male, and female Muto. And together they make quite a tough team. But do they have what it takes? Let's find out. All of the Mutos have been able to push and drag around their Godzilla. Giragoji weighing in at 90,000 tons. But we're just gonna skip the male Muto's feats as
I ain't
doing really anything here. So let's start with the females. She has shown that she's able to push back Godzilla. She later is able to bring him to his knees, and is able to trample him over. She takes rockets like a champ, and while hurt, she overall shrugs off Godzilla's Nerf Atomic Breath.
Ooh,
onto the
that
Prime,
Atomic Breath.
who will be carrying this team hard in this battle.
Clip.
The Prime is able to ragdoll Godzilla, who, as she said, weighs 90,000 tons. She's able to break apart and control the crust and tectonic plates. She's fine after being beamed by Godzilla, and her sonic roar is powerful enough to break the dorsal plates of Godzilla in her universe.
Doesn't Godzilla Earth weigh like 100,000 metric tons or tons? What the frick you call it? Yeah. So Muto Prime might be able to move around. Godzilla Earth. Might be. I didn't say she could, but maybe. Might be able to move Godzilla Earth around. Since she was able to push around. Yeah, maybe.
Able to do the same to Godzilla Earth. And she's also able to burrow with incredible speed. So this fight would be interesting. While the male and female would go down quickly, the Prime might be able to land a few blows. Now, how can she last? Well, firstly, while the surface of the planet is covered in Godzilla Earth stuff, she can still affect what's underneath. So she can still break and manipulate the tectonic plates and use them to her advantage, being able to pull them apart and get into the normal dirt so she can burrow. She can then stay clear of Godzilla Earth attacks for a while, and he wouldn't be able to sense where she is. If she could get close, she could try to use her Sonic Screech, as we know Godzilla Earth can still hear things. And sound goes through his shield as well. I mean, one of his own attacks is a sound-based attack. So overall, she'd be the first to actually land an attack on Godzilla Earth, as her roar should be able to get through his shield. Now, while it wouldn't do much, it would be the first. Now, Godzilla Earth would have a hard time hitting her, but eventually he would finally hit her. So with around mid-difficulty just due to the fact that it's kind of hard to hit her, Godzilla Earth moves on. Though the Mutos do have one advantage.
Did bro just say mid-difficulty? Did he just say mid-difficulty? The glazing is insane. The glazing is insane.
They can easily get Japanese snacks for themselves. But you and me? Yeah, we aren't Mutos, my friend. That's where today's sponsor, Tokyo Treats and Sakura Co. comes.
Oh, let's just skip through this. Heck nah, not watching those sponsors. We don't do sponsors around here.
We don't know. As they have impressive feats, yes. The issue is there's no given weights for the verse. So the best you could say is that they push around Godzilla quite a bit, who, by my guess, is probably around 100,000 metric tons. Now, the main thing they steal with ease is speed. both are able to fly incredibly fast. But since there's not too much on them, we're just going to cover their abilities. For abilities, while they're powerful, there's only one between the two of them that will actually do anything, that being Megalon's beam. While it wouldn't damage Godzilla, it will likely slightly stun Godzilla Earth, but that's about it. Now, Earth would struggle with these two, as firstly they're the first on the list that can most likely take more than one attack. That, along with the fact that they're so much faster, it will make it a challenge for Earth to hit them. So, with high difficulty just due to their speed, after long enough, Godzilla Earth would eventually land a couple hits.
Did Bro just say high difficulty? Did he just say... Oh my god. Godzilla guy. Oh my lord. Yeah, I'm happy I unsubscribed to you. I'm happy I'm so happy I unsubscribed and left your Discord server. I am so happy I did that. Oh my lord, my brains are declining, bro. Did make he can't power scale either. Yeah, I'm crying over here. Wait, if he said, I wonder what would he say for Showa Godzilla then?
Next up is Biollante and King Ghidorah.
Biollante.
Biolante's best feat of strength is when, even in her Rose form, she was able to restrain Godzilla, and her Beast form is much stronger than her Rose. Godzilla at this time is already a being who is able to easily break buildings apart. He rips apart a submarine without breaking a sweat, and he's able to push buildings over with ease. For speed, she Alright, for durability, while she later dies from one, she's able to withstand a beam going into her mouth, and the rest of her body should be more durable than the back of her mouth. So overall, not too bad. Onto Ghidorah, and he'll be carrying this team. Ghidorah is able to cause many earthquakes just by jumping on Godzilla. He's able to choke out the G-Man and subdue him. For speed, he's able to reach speeds of Mach 4, and for durability...
Yeah. He did say Showa Godzilla beats Heisei, but that's very, very incorrect. Get to the statements and stuff like that, then yeah, no. Without statements, Showa Godzilla. With statements, yeah. Then Heisei. Well, it depends if you go for statements for... Okay, hold up. What's a Yeah, it depends. If you use statements for Heisei Godzilla.
He's one tough cookie. His wings alone take Godzilla's breath with no damage, which of course would apply to the rest of his body. And overall, he's able to tank pretty much all of Godzilla's normal attacks. And for abilities, the only useful one here will be Ghidorah's gravity beams, as Biollante's tendrils won't even be able to get into the ground, due to Godzilla Earth having infected the planet. But even the beams, still, no shock to anyone, can't really do anything to his barrier. So again, due to the speed gap, it would take a while for Godzilla to win, but with low difficulty, he moves on. Now onto the Showa-era goats, those being Showa Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus. Let's start with Mechagodzilla.
Dang, he just had a little difficulty, dang. I'm gonna be honest. I think Biollante is enough to be honest. I forgot what people scale her nowadays. I don't scale them all. I don't scale the Heisei era that much. Oh, because I don't use the Heisei era Kaiju that much. Hey, little boy. No. Oh, sorry. Low diff is crazy though. What was that?
Best one, by the way. Firstly, Bro is casually able to generate earthquakes. With a single punch, he can destroy buildings. He's able to send Anguirus literally flying away with a single kick. Showa Anguirus coming in at 30,000 metric tons. He even breaks his jaw. Just like Aang, he's able to kick away King Caesar, who also weighs in at 30,000 metric tons. And overall, he's able to compete with Godzilla himself. Godzilla in the Showa era being able to lift and throw Zandora from Zone Fighter, who weighs in at 91,000 metric tons. For speed, Mechagodzilla is able to fly at Mach 5, and for durability, he's able to withstand his own space beam being shot back at him 10 times over. He takes a beating from Caesar, he takes Godzilla's atomic breath, and only displays sparks from it, and is stated in the film to be built of space titanium, which is just titanium, but from space. Gotta love the Showa era. And he has a wide range of abilities, having space beams, missiles, his cross attack beam, the Unishot, the Neo defense barrier, and shows in the poster but not in the film to have his Desto fire. Onto Titano. He's able to stagger Goji, and throughout the film overpowers him, and even lifts him by just using his mouth.
Titano
Showa Godzilla coming in at 20,000 metric tons.
The floor
for speed, he's able to tag fighter jets in the air, and for durability, he's overall able to tussle with Godzilla for long periods of time. And for abilities, he has his tailwinds, and that's about it. So how would this play out? Well, firstly, Titano would be no help at all. As while he's strong, he doesn't fight. In Terror of Mechagodzilla, he was simply under mind control throughout the film, and is even said to be a peaceful creature. So off the bat, he would just run off. Sorry, my fellow Titana fan.
Yeah, that is true. Titanosaurus doesn't fight. Yeah, he's like you said, peaceful creature. But if he was mind controlled, then yeah, yeah, Titanosaurus is enough. Titanosaurus already scales higher than Showa Mechagodzilla, in the original one and in Terra Mechagodzilla. Titanosaurus is golden. Just one taps the whole monsterverse. Trust me.
Watching. At least he didn't get mauled. But on to Mecha. Now, I know what you're thinking. Goji guy, you said the Final Wars trio loses because Earth beats Final Wars, so shouldn't Mecha just lose off the bat? Well, yes and no. I always try to get this across in my videos, but the winner of battles almost never comes down to strength, speed, durability, and whatnot. It almost always comes down to abilities. So, with that being said, Mecha would actually stand his ground. Firstly, he would stand Godzilla's beam to an extent. As it said in the film, that Mechagodzilla is from the Black Hole Nebula 3 Aliens planet, which is very close to a black hole. So Mechagodzilla is able to withstand the forces of a black hole. Now, Godzilla Earth's beam did destroy them, but if Mechagodzilla also uses his shield on top of his already great durability, he should be able to take quite a few attacks.
Wait, so he's saying that oh no, never mind. Hold on.
Now, while he could last for a while, the only issue is it doesn't really have any way to bypass Earth's shield, or drain it of his energy. So while this fight would go on for a while, and Godzilla will have a hard time hitting him due to his speed, again with high difficulty, due to his speed, Godzilla Earth moves on. Stand proud, Mechagodzilla. You were strong.
Care, mate. You hands on my face. Oh.
Now to Kaiser Ghidorah and Monster X. Now, yes, I know. These two technically can exist.
He didn't even do Showa King Ghidorah. He knew if he did Showa King Ghidorah, Godzilla's gonna get one tap to be on this. No, maybe not one tapped. Maybe one tapped. Yeah, he was Showa King Ghidorah. He didn't even do Megalon. Like he only did Titanosaurus and Showa Mechagodzilla. Put some more villains at least. They put my goat. Showa Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus. Well,
same time, but they need all the help they can get. So just deal with it. Starting with Monster X. Now in this team, he'll be the one taking the hits, as he is much more durable than Kaiser. While Kaiser will be on the offensive and try to land his attacks and use his abilities to their fullest. Monster X has shown strength on par and exceeding Godzilla, being able to overpower Goji in battle.
Showa King Ghidorah mid diffs. Oh no, there's no concept. No concept diff. Showa King Ghidorah is like high universal. Yeah. Godzilla Earth ain't doing shoot. He's being yeah. I don't really care. As long as he's not higher than my mid diff, then we good. Low diff works too. I don't really care. If you don't use like no concept neg diff, so you can say low diff. Or no, your choice.
Final Wars Godzilla coming in at 55,000 tons.
As long as King
and I mean, do I really have to cover all of it? We literally just posted a video on Monster X. If you want all this stuff, just go watch that. Gamazot's victim. Now onto Kaiser Ghidorah. Kaiser need to make sure he stays behind Monster X throughout the battle, and try to land his beam. Kaiser's beams being a major upgrade from Monster X, as they can actually lift their foes. Though, due to Godzilla's shield, it wouldn't really be possible. And Kaiser really just has the same feats as Monster X, that being he's able to lift Godzilla, but this fight is actually quite interesting. Monster X will be responsible for moving Kaiser when needed, and he would also tank the hits when he needs to. This would rely on perfect timing from the two of them, and seamless teamwork, because these two could actually have a chance, as one of the abilities Kaiser has is the fact that he can drain energy. So if Monster X can move Kaiser close to Earth, and get him out of there quick enough, Kaiser could slowly but surely start to drain the power of his shield, and eventually they could drain it enough where they could actually start to land blows. So, with the shield gone, they could start to do some damage. But while they couldn't make it far, Godzilla Earth would just heat up the area, making it hard for them to get close, and soon enough would just land a couple hits on them. That along with his crazy regen, to kill him you pretty much have to one-tap him. So, with mid-difficulty, Godzilla moves on. Next up is Shimo and Ghidorah, the two big dogs.
Did he just say mid-difficulty? Did you just say mid-difficulty? Godzilla, I'm finna... I know you're 18, mate. You're a grown man, too. And you're saying all this. Like, bro. High Wink, Earth, yeah. High Wink Earth just beats, yeah. Agility and speed. Speed, debatable. Yeah, if you really, Wink, yeah. I guess, people really high Wink Final Wars in Solar System. Yeah, yeah, like you said, High Wake, Godzilla Earth is universal, like you said earlier. Yeah.
Monsterverse. These two are no strangers to the channel, so let's see if they can put their differences aside and take on this world-ending threat. Now, I don't really think I need to cover their feats, as well I think we all know them at this point, but I will quickly summarize them to any new viewers watching. Which, if you are new, welcome to the channel, and consider subscribing if you're enjoying this video.
Did he just say... I'm gonna kill myself now. I'm gonna kill myself now. Where's the knife at? Now, where's the shotgun? Get this over with. Oh my lord. Get out of the... Wait, so you're saying Guns N' Earth skills higher than Heisei then? And okay. Lowest point? We mean at lowest point? What's the highest point then? We gonna say boundless then? Heisei's what? I'm gonna kill. Oh my god! You please tell me you're joking. He has to be joking. Yeah, he has to be. Okay. But I'll ignore. Okay.
To me, my channel, not you, Cappy. I see you reacting. Every time I say subscribe, you say to your channel. To me, Cappy. Also subscribe to Cappy, though. For strength, both of these kaiju are able to lift and throw Godzilla with ease. Tohei Goji coming in at 99,634 tons. Ghidorah will be carrying this team when it comes to speed, flying at 550 knots. Shima's one who'll take durability, being unfazed by Godzilla's most powerful attack, that being his supercharged evolved beam. You know, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. All right, let's talk about abilities, because, as we said, that's the most important thing here. Because at this point, I think we can confidently say that really no team's gonna be outdoing him in strength or durability until Space Godzilla, maybe, but hold your horses. Now, Ghidorah has his gravity beams, flight, his alpha call, his storm, and energy absorption. And yes, he has wing lightning, but he won't be getting that as he's not gonna be amped in this fight. Also, the alpha call is just useless, it's not gonna work here. Shima has her frostbite blast, and very slight cryokinesis, as she freezes things around her as we see in Rio. But she can't make it, move around like an ice bender, and that's really it for her. So what could they do together? Well, off the bat, they'll actually make it difficult for Godzilla Earth to see them. While he can still sense Shima as she's on the ground, Ghidorah could hide in his storm. Along with Shima creating an ice storm on top of that, it'll make it hard for Godzilla Earth to know where they are. Now, while he could part Ghidorah's storm with his roar, Ghidorah could just remake it again and again.
One problem. Shima's dumb as heck. Shima's too dumb to team up. She would probably fight Ghidorah then. Ernie Zilla, you're just trying to get my attention. You know what? Just whatever. Just keep on saying your random stuff. Yeah, they're not fast enough to dodge Earth attacks. Like Shima can run at Mach 1, like guys like I said, Ghidorah can fly at Mach 0.85. Wow. What did I say? Godzilla Earth attack thing is just too big. Burning Zilla, if you actually being serious about that, you're just straight up dumb. Hello, Gamerzilla. What you doing, mate? Yeah, Godzilla guy's really
ability. These kaiju are now going to be able to...
I'm gonna say he has a few good ones. A few. But the rest of them are just straight up trash. I'm gonna be honest.
In a few attacks from Godzilla Earth, being able to take a few tail whips and roars. And possibly, they might be the first that can actually take a beam, as Monsterverse Goji is barely comparable to Godzilla Earth, as there are a few statements that say his beam is the strongest thing in nature, and for those who don't know, black holes would qualify as a part of nature. So you could wank it and say his beam is...
That statement is not consistent. Plus, that makes 0 sense. That would make 0 sense. Yeah, that statement is not consistent, so we'll count that statement. We'll count it. If it was consistent, yeah, we could use it. Yeah, we could use it. Of course, you say TM10's videos are good. Of course. No, yeah, they are good though. They are good. I'm not gonna lie, they are good. They're good though.
Powerful than black holes. But that's up to interpretation. So I'm just gonna say, maybe. Now, while his roar would slightly get rid of the storm, he does have another way to get around that. That being his scarlet form. And also letting out a lot of heat. Heating up the area, as we said, all the way back at the start. Heating it up to that extent would evaporate the storm instantly, and would also start to melt Teemo's ice before it even touches him. So while normal Earth would have a hard time hitting them, this would be the first time he goes out of his way to amp himself. And in his scarlet state, with low to mid difficulty, he moves on. As at this point, they can't really do anything to him, and it would just be a matter of breaking through their durability, and soon...
He trolling? You know what? Yes. No, I'm gonna hop on later. Yeah, at 12 o'clock I'm gonna get off because I'm gonna go watch Sonic 3. I'm gonna go watch some Sonic 3 later. Yeah, guys, a good idea fell off after KU. How you gonna Spinozilla, he's just a waste of time. He's just trying to get attention because his parents they give him any. Okay, my bad. I went too far. My bad. Went too far. We respect people in this channel. Yeah. Definitely respect people in this channel. Yeah. But don't waste your time with him. He's just trying to get your attention. Attention seeker. Care about Brawl Stars.
To play Buzz Lightyear in
I'll
Brawl Stars.
play the game.
It's free.
Once you unlock
Now finally, the Crystal King, Space Godzilla, and the Reaper Roach, Destoroyah. Now, to those who've
Crystal
watched
King.
all my verse swaps, you will know that no one has made it past Space Godzilla. Well, because, at least in my opinion, Space Godzilla is one of the strongest kaiju of all time. Even more than Destoroyah. I know. I'll cover it someday. But with that being said, this is a battle of abilities. So let's cover what both of these guys can do. Starting with Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla has a bunch of abilities, each being incredibly powerful. So let's dive in. Space Godzilla has his Photon Reactive Shield, that being his own beam-proof shield, where he can take attacks of his foes and send them right back at them.
Yeah.
And he can even put the shield onto certain objects, such as
Yeah,
the
he can do it.
Fukuoka Tower. But there are two downsides. Firstly, he seemingly has to be stationary for it to work, as we never see him use it when he's flying. Secondly, he has to willingly activate it, as it isn't always present. He has his Corona Beam, which is pretty much his atomic breath, but with one big advantage. That being he can change the direction of it whenever he wants to, even after it's been shot, allowing him to move it about so it can hit its targets. He has his Gravity Tornado, which allows him to lift his attackers into the air and throw them away. He has his Geokinesis, where he can create massive crystals to come out of the ground and send them flying towards his enemy.
Don't hate on Gojitron. Gojitron is a good guy. Godzilla guy, no. His KU videos, live streams, they were better. Gojitron is a good guy. He's a chill guy. For real.
He has energy manipulation, which allows him to amplify his attacks and also drain energy. Though we don't know if he can drain energy of kaiju, as all we've seen it do is drain energy from the Fukuoka Tower. And he has other few abilities, but the rest aren't useful in this matchup. On to Destoroyah. Destoroyah has his division and recombination, where he can split into his smaller forms, and of course attack, and then further recombined to fully heal himself from any previously taken damage. He has his micro-oxygen beam, he has his energy-draining tail, where he's able to, well, drain energy, and he has his variable slicer. So with all that in place, how would this play out? And we're gonna kind of cover it like a what-if video, so sit back and relax. But firstly, there are a few abilities here that just aren't useful, such as Destoroyah's variable slicer and Space Godzilla's energy draining and Geokinesis,
I'm
as the
end the
variable
video
and the
on the
crystals
stream
will get
soon.
through Earth's shield,
After
and we
the
don't know
video
how
ends, I'm gonna end,
effective
'cause
Space
I'm gonna
Godzilla's
do-
energy draining
I'm gonna
capabilities
get ready
are.
for some type of
So
stuff.
with that
I'm
in place,
busy.
this matchup would be hard. Godzilla Earth
But
would
don't worry,
quickly be
I'll
caught
live
off
stream
guard
probably
due to the
tomorrow.
fact that for some reason he's being thrown through the air. Now off the bat as Godzilla Earth stands back up, Space Godzilla and Destoroyah will shoot their beams at Goji, but to no avail. Seeing that there's a shield
never
in
seen
place,
Goji trying to get
Destoroyah
that
will try and get
taped.
close
Yeah,
and drain the
watch more of
shield,
his
while
videos.
Space Godzilla attacks from afar. Now Godzilla Earth would know what he's about to get into, quickly going into his scarlet form and releasing heat to keep them away. Godzilla Earth would charge up his beam and fire it right at Space Godzilla, just for his own beam to strike him back, taking heavy damage. Now here's one advantage Godzilla Earth has in this battle. Godzilla Earth is pretty smart, while these two, not so much. They aren't dumb by any means. They just don't know how to perfectly use their abilities. So you could make the argument, oh, Death should just break apart and recombine over and over. Which, sure, is an argument, though the one question arises, why didn't he just do that in the film?
You just say, yeah, cause like I already hate. No, I hate you even more now.
It's just because that's not how these two fight. Now, I didn't cover these as it's way too much to go over in this video, but in the prequel novels to the Godzilla Earth films, at one point in the books, if my memory serves me right, Mothra uses her scales to send Godzilla's beam right back at him, almost killing him. So Earth, with that knowledge, would know not to use his beam again, as it's too risky. Godzilla Earth would have to rely on his tail whip and atomic roar to deal with these guys. But there are two abilities I haven't covered for Earth. Destroya would break apart, trying to sneakily get close to Godzilla Earth. But little does Destroya know, Godzilla Earth has a trick up his sleeve. Godzilla Earth, as we said, infected the entire planet, but along with that, he created subspecies, smaller versions of himself to handle any threats while he slept. So with that in mind, the moment Destroya turns into his smaller and weaker versions of himself, they would be bombarded with Servrum, giant aerial kaiju, and together, they won't allow Death to recombine. With Destroya being dealt with, Godzilla fully focuses on Space
Only
Godzilla,
he's the aerial
knowing
character
he's the
he
bigger
doesn't
threat.
hate
Godzilla
Space
pushes out as
Godzilla.
much energy as he possibly can, creating widespread fires and a massive steam cloud, making it almost impossible for Space Godzilla to locate Godzilla Earth. That's when Space Godzilla sees Godzilla firing a beam once more. Space Godzilla puts up his shield, shooting it right back at Godzilla.
Send me the Discord.
killing
Send me the
him.
Discord.
Space Godzilla is left
Send me
in
the
shock for
Discord.
a
Send me
moment.
it. Send me
But
it
after some
right now.
time, being the cocky kaiju he is, he roars triumphantly. That's when, out of
Send me that
nowhere,
Discord.
a crimson beam fires through Space Godzilla's chest,
Hold on,
killing him. Godzilla used Godzilla Filius, the weaker and smaller
I'm
version of
go to-
himself,
I'm gonna go
as a
to his
distraction,
channel and see.
while
Gotta
using
find
his
the
ability
Discord.
of stealth, which I'm not even joking, check Wikizilla, to stay hidden inside the smoke and steam, and sneakily get behind Space Godzilla. And given Space Godzilla didn't actively have his shield up, Godzilla Earth took his chance and killed the space demon. Godzilla quickly locates what's left of Destroya and does a tail swipe and beam to finish them off. So, with extreme difficulty, Godzilla Earth moves on. Was he cheating a little at the end there? Maybe. Hey, but he's just using his resources, man. And thank you all so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed watching this, as it
Nope,
took
cap.
forever.
That's the guy. I hate you now. Know what? Dislike. Yeah, get a dislike ratio. Yeah, yeah, that's a guy. Frick you. You're not good anymore. You were good back in my day when you did KU live streams.
Where's your beats at?
I'm live streaming. Just give me like 5 more minutes. What? Okay, I'm gonna end the stream. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good day.